Anshul. I am glad that you are with me today, and I want you to introduce to my entire family, entire community of 100K and other people from Instagram and YouTube. But before that, welcome back on LinkedIn. And you are doing fantastic. So kudos to you. And we are here sitting with you to understand it all, what you have done, what all not. Yeah, that's about it. But I would love if you would like to give your short introduction to my people right here.
Absolutely, Shraddha. I think, first of all, to begin with, let me just give you a hats off for the generous introduction that you gave. I think the brief introduction that you gave and the generosity that you always shower with each and every conversation that we have online, in person, or virtual. So, thank you so much for that. Let me just start with acknowledging the fact that you have been the biggest support in my LinkedIn journey, right from starting, right from contesting in the while you crossed 50K followers on LinkedIn. That's when becoming a LinkedIn influencer, creating content on LinkedIn, to my profile restriction, and now coming with triple times the energy back on the platform. So thank you so much for that. So that was just a sweet and short note for you to, to just acknowledge the fact that how supportive you have been throughout my journey on LinkedIn. So, to answer your question, I think I'd like to just begin with my quick introduction to introduce myself to the 100K followers whom you have been empowering with your content. So, hello everyone. With that said, hello everyone. My name is Anshul Chawla, and I have been working with Capgemini India from the past 2 years and 10 months. So it's been precisely 34 months of my association with Capgemini India that I have explored my abilities and skills into MuleSoft development, Salesforce development, and now Salesforce testing. And my ambition happens to be to become a Salesforce business analyst to directly understand the requirements from the clients, and that's when delivering bug-free, robust solutions for the SFTC applications. So that was all with my professional journey. Coming on to my LinkedIn journey. So my LinkedIn journey began in the year 2022, where I just saw a reel on my explore section that there is a LinkedIn contest that a LinkedIn influencer named Shraddha Srivastava has been hosting since she's been celebrating 40K plus followers on LinkedIn. And that's when I filled in my details. I shared the link to my LinkedIn profile and everything, and all the things just turned up the way they should, and I ended up winning that contest, and that's when my LinkedIn content creation journey began. So that was all with my brief introduction.
Thank you so much, Anshul. You are very much in detail, always that I love about you. And the fact about you, Anshul, is that you kept doing. You was the person who literally learned, but at the same time implemented. So it's something like I remember 15 people were selected, but only a very few literally made it to this far. And today we are sitting in 2024. It's really good to realize that it's been 2 years, 2 long years. And with that, I want to tell all of you that Anshul has two different journey on his LinkedIn. There was a phase one, there was a phase two. The phase one was quite exciting, but at the same time was very much stressful. And that's the common mistake that everybody, literally everybody, including myself, have been doing. Okay. But with that specific learning that Anshul got, Anshul actually helped all of us coming back and showing that no, if it is a ban, it's for temporary. And when you make a comeback, you always win. And with that, Anshul, my question to you is that because I know your journey, everything, I know every time my inbox, my WhatsApp is uh, having a notification about Anshul achieved this followers or that followers and so on. But here is a question to know that how you ended up losing your LinkedIn. But before that, I really want to know your first few milestones that you had got with your first LinkedIn account. So would you like to share that up with us?
So, with that said, I think just to answer your question, I think that's a beautiful question. So, thank you so much for putting it forth because I realize the authenticity and the depth behind asking that question, because it is going to help a lot of folks there, a lot of aspiring LinkedIn influencers and people who want to, come up on the platform, create content, and empower others. So, my LinkedIn journey began in the year 2022, when obviously when I contested in the when I contested for the contest that you published on your Instagram, and that's
Mhm.
when I ended up winning that contest, and so on. From there on, I used to have mentorship sessions with you, and you used to guide us through as to how content is created on LinkedIn. And that's when slowly and steadily my growth was happening on the platform. And that's when within 15 days, while I got selected for the free mentorship from your end, 50-day free mentorship, right? I had 4.5k followers already on my LinkedIn profile, because I used to always uh, write some notes to self. I used to write quotes, since obviously a lot of my followers already know that how much expressive I am and how I love writing. So I used to always just randomly share some notes to self, or some kind of quote each and every day on LinkedIn. So I was just very active on the platform, and I just remember googling on the Google that, okay, how to become a LinkedIn influencer, but I never got those questions answered, right? So I slowly and steadily, my journey was coming into place. And one day I woke up and one of my posts went viral. It got 60k impressions in 13 hours, right? And that's when from 4.5k I got shifted to 6k followers.
I wanted to know that. Yeah.
So from 4.5k to 6k followers, and that's when the dopamine of my mind, it just expressed in a way, and it said that, okay, Anshul, LinkedIn is just about followers. The
Hmm.
person who has the maximum number of followers is winning in his game. So I was not really aware of the community guidelines as to what LinkedIn has to. But LinkedIn is not only a job seeking portal, right? It is just like any other social media platform that has its own set of guidelines. So I, not being aware of it, I was just the emphasis was just on the numbers. That was the biggest mistake that I did. So yeah, the phase one was about committing mistake, and committing that one mistake. And just, and you obviously, you have also seen me being so disappointed. The day I lost my LinkedIn profile, the next day you just called me up and spoke to me about it. So I think things were not falling into place. I genuinely remember being in depression for almost 3 to 4 months after I lost my LinkedIn profile, because the people who contested with me and who ended up winning the contest, Aarti Ahuja, Image Coach Shivani, and Tina Singh Walia ma'am, to name a few. So they were doing such fabulous job with their LinkedIn profiles. Their posts were going viral. They were gaining a lot of followers, but I was not even having access to my platform. My profile was restricted permanently, and that's when, God bless you, Shraddha. God bless you. Yeah. So at that, and that's when my LinkedIn, I was not really having that access to that platform, because I really love the craftsmanship, right? That's the plausible reason why I've always been an artist. I love painting, I love sketching. So I always liked creating things. I always believe in craftsmanship. And that's probably the plausible reason why I am doing very good with my job as well in the corporates. Okay, slight exaggerations of personal lists of achievements are required from time to time, don't you think? Okay,
I
jokes
think
apart. Yeah.
so. I
So
think so. I love that. Keep it coming, because when you say that you have achieved this much, you know what happens with Gen Zs and any other person who is watching us right now would definitely want to know about your background, would love to know how you are doing in your corporate journey. Because you know what, Anshul, people think that it is a content creation. Okay, just like that, you go on any AI or a GPT tool and then you get your content done in this way. And that's not something huge. You know, people do not understand the value of it, and they think like, okay, if you're creating content along with your job, it's just you're passing the time. So that's why if you mention that
absolutely.
you are getting promoted very nicely in your professional journey, and this really means a lot, and it is to be highlighted for sure. I would love you to actually share that with all of the audience who's watching us, so that they can know that it's just not about you creating content for just passing your time or fulfilling your hobbies. No, it's more about, highlighting that winning things. And Anshul, I would also like to know about the a brand came to you for asking some sort of brand collaboration, right? So we would like to know about that too.
Absolutely. So the brand collaboration happened with this education tech company who, used to offer a streamlined process for the HR recruiters as well as the candidates to look out for a job. So they used to provide that common platform, and they just shared the graphic with me, and they just wanted to post it on my LinkedIn. And depending upon the performance, obviously, it was my first ever paid collaboration. I did, message you on WhatsApp. Expressing the level of enthusiasm that I had. So it was my first ever. Yeah, it was my first ever collaboration that happened, and they were very very impressed with the post performance, and they wanted to re-collaborate with me on the LinkedIn platform again. So the thing was that the enthusiasm always brought that courage in me in order to create content. I was knowing that I have to work on my personal branding. It is not content creation is not uh, just ending up doing it just because it is your hobby. I think it is pivotal for everyone to understand that the importance of personal branding in today's competitive era. If you have to forge the competitive era, you will have to stand out of the cohorts, and if you have to do that, you will have to do something different. So that's all about it. That's the difference, right? Because it is very wisely said. I just read this quote on Instagram recently, and I think this is the perfect moment to just share it with you. That a person who does things differently is different from a person who does the same things in a different manner. So taking the path untaken is the key. That's what I believe.
True, very true. In fact, I believe the same. And what I think about you, Anshul, is that your phase one of LinkedIn journey was good, was really good. There was a one mistake that happened and led to, lost your account. But at the same time, you were achieving a lot. You were growing fine. You were getting a lot of viral posts. You were getting some brand collaborations as well. In today's time, mostly Gen Zs are willing to get that brand deals. And who actually know that on LinkedIn we charge really high and we get that. And when you make money without even spending anything, this gives another level of, I mean, you are already having a good package of your salary, okay? But still, that money, that tiny money, gave you a different pleasure because that was coming with a sort of personal brand that you established. So Anshul, with that, I really want to ask you this question because I've literally kept it in my mind to ask you that, you being a working professional, you're a very successful professional, okay? Why do you think that LinkedIn is important, and why did you made a comeback after getting banned on link? I mean, banned, or I should say the right word that you can describe more better than me because you have gone through with that. So, why do you think you made a comeback? Number one, I know, I know everything, but I would love you to talk about it. And then, when you made a decision to come back, what was something that made you really happy on the platform after coming after so long,
So I think Shraddha, probably you just know the reason, right? So from that question coming from you takes me back to the day one where I started building up my LinkedIn with 0 to 5 to 6 followers, and that's when you just messaged me on WhatsApp, right? You just said that welcome back to LinkedIn, probably. So to answer your question, yes, I think because obviously it was completely a pleasure. I think it was a pleasure and delight to be back on the platform. Initially, it was my ego that was acting as an obstacle. That no, I don't want to come back on the platform. This thing happened. So that was a very major lesson that I learned in my life, that you should never ever just give up. Circumstances will be adverse for you, but despondencies and disappointments are a part and parcel of your life. In that complete process, in that complete era, if your fear just gives you that courage, the 50% of the race is already won. You have already turned the tables around. So that was the only thing. I always knew that I always wanted to empower everybody with the content that I create, with the level of creativity that I have in mind. And that is why I came back on the platform, keeping my ego aside. I was like, okay, let me just make, let's just face it. Or eventually, for my professional journey as well, LinkedIn is a very crucial tool for me to, excel in my career. It is a very, very crucial tool. So if not only content creation, I was knowing that okay, something, it would be fruitful in my professional journey as well. So my father, my father always used to tell me one thing, that why do you always want to, settle for the least? Why don't you have to just embrace yourself and come in the form of flying colors of the rainbow in the future? Just don't lose your flamboyance. He always says that to me. Just don't lose your flamboyance. Just do, I know the level of potential that you have. So why don't you just give it a try? I mean, you just, I can't really serve everything to you on a platter. It is eventually you have to, who has to work hard, and hardships and everything happen in life, right? Despondencies and disappointments, as I just said, these are a part and parcel. These things really keep on happening. So the a person should always be very, very consistent with his efforts. If something has happened, or if some the LinkedIn mishappening that happened with me, after that, coming back on the platform, it takes a lot of courage, Shraddha. It genuinely does, because the people who started with me, I was seeing that they are getting 16, 17, 18, 19, 20K followers, and I've just begun again. But complete LinkedIn community, while I came back on the platform, I was really, really humbled with the level of response that I got. I used to always, each and every day, I think I used to get 2 to 3 messages on my LinkedIn DMs, congratulating me and welcoming me back on the platform and looking forward to your posts and everything. So I think it was a very, very, it has been a very, very long journey. I think it completely swelled with crits and toughs. So whenever you go up, you always come down, and whenever you come down, you always go up. That is the way I could put it in the best possible way, I think, for you.
I love how you actually summarize your things. I love it when you said that in short manner. Well, with that, I think your journey in the phase one was really good, but when you made a comeback, it was a blast. You literally grown like this. I mean, no, this is bad,
Exponentially,
no,
yeah,
this
correct.
down, like just went up. And I am so glad that you could do that. Anshu, it is a fact that if you create a new account and you do your content job and it working very consistently, you will grow. And you know what, Anshul, within a year, you can literally hit more than 50K. And it's very, very easy. In fact, okay, so let's get to the date of you coming back on LinkedIn and today, how many days and how many followers you're having right now.
So by tomorrow, I'm going to hit 7K. I came back on the platform. Thank you, Shraddha. Well, I came back on the platform in the month of May, and slowly and gradually, I started optimizing my profile, and with all the tips that you gave me in the in the 50-day mentorship that I got, as being a contestant of your contest, and obviously in ending up winning it. So being a winner of that contest, obviously, with all the tips and tricks you told me, I think I really would like to take a moment and acknowledge you, because it would make me a very, very erratic content creator if I don't stop and pay respect to the people who are actually responsible and have or behind my success, and have been backing up throughout. So I think I would really like to acknowledge you for that fact. So I started. I just took it step by step this time. I didn't want it to go for followers, or I didn't want it to take it swiftly. I just took it step by step in the first month. So I started in the month of May, 2023. In the mid of May, I think 15th of May was my first day, where I finally came back to the LinkedIn platform, and I saw how much the user interface has changed just in 1 year. So it was a very, very overwhelming thing for me. Yeah, absolutely. So while I came back on the platform, initially 1 month I kept it very, very swift, right? I kept it very, very swift. I started optimizing my profile. I started sharing content. And that's when, after a month or so, I think in the month of June, there was this post of mine that spoke about the correct way of crafting your resume, and that post, in within 5 hours, it got 80K plus impressions. So
Exactly.
you might remember I even shared the screenshot with you, and even you were dumbfounded as to oh my god, what congratulations to you, I'm so happy. So that's what gave me the courage. You know, if if one post of mine, if I kind of create content for people, and if it empowers the other people in such a way that they find it relatable, they find my content relatable, then why not create content on LinkedIn? And that's what gave me the and that's what gave me the motivation. And it's been an elixir of life, an eternal sense of inspiration for me to grow in my career and to be inexplicable.
Absolutely. And I love that fact that you came back and you started adding value. You know, um, when you're starting back, you feel like, okay, let's use the old content and just push it up. No, you did something extra. You have put in some efforts that, you're actually entertaining the audience and also making sure that this is Anshul is going to set the real value. And I really appreciate you on that. Now coming to the content creation journey, because you are so good at on English, okay? You're damn good. You're really good. I mean, I cannot stop myself appreciating your English and communication always. So now think that, okay, English and writing was a very you know cup of cake for you, but then when it comes to designing, you literally design PDF documents, the carousels we say. How did you figure it out? Because I remember teaching Canva a little bit, and then you literally used it really nice way, and you started designing and developing those things in real. How much was that difficult for you? And what is that one tip that you would like to give, because you have been in that journey? What that one tip you think for content creation, for content designing, both? We would love to know from you.
Again, that's a very wonderful question. Very interesting question that you have put it on my plate. Okay, so I would just like to answer your question in a point-wise fraction since it had a lot of parts. So the level of difficulties, right? Initially, obviously, you gave us a brief introduction to Canva. I did not really know what Canva is and what it has to offer as a platform. So what I realized was that I don't have to go for the premium version because not only because I mean, I don't find it making sense. I couldn't find it making sense to go for the premium version because if I have to create content, my content should speak for itself,
Yeah.
not the design. So primarily, I'm sure I would beg to disagree with you there because primarily it is your content that actually helps you spotlight out of the cohorts. Designing is acts as that catalyst, right? In chemistry, we study catalyst, right? To catalyze the reaction right from the RHS to LHS, whatever. So designing is acts as a catalyst. Your main power or the main weapon is the content that you put in or the level of value that you're adding to your audience's life. Secondly, I would just like to say and emphasize that while you work on Canva, you just have to make sure that your efforts are consistent and you need to come up with a personal brand. You need to come up with a brand color. You need to come up with a very consistent design of your carousels so that your personal branding works out.
True.
With
True.
each and every carousel I started realizing, yeah, absolutely. So with each and every carousel I started realizing the importance of visuals and the importance of color themes in order to eradicate all the issues and to issues with the carousels and to make sure that your content works out, because visualization is something that adds just like the cherry on the cake while you create content on LinkedIn. So that's all about it.
You know
And
what?
with the tip that you just wanted me to, yeah, I'm, I'm sorry, Shraddha, I
Go ahead.
just for the interruption. I'm so sorry for the interruption. Meanwhile, I really appreciate your patience. So one tip that I'd like to really give all the folks and all the aspiring LinkedIn influencers would be that you should always make sure that you are very, very confident with your niche and your
Yeah.
target audience. That will really help you out to understand what brand color you should be keeping while you create carousels, how you should be keeping your design. For instance, if you're a techie or if you're a software engineer or if you are into any kind of corporate business, so you can keep your carousel in a very formal fraction. You can use light tone colors. You cannot use colors that are actually a bit dizzy and just enlightening to one's eyes, right? So the magic of colors would only work if your content is good. And by how do you create content? You just the first step is to understand your target audience and understand what your niche is. Once these two things comprise together, all the things will go on, very organically. So it's very, very good.
Absolutely. And you know what? In this Instagram era, I want to say that Instagram era is all about, hitting that 100K followers. And I see a lot of reels nowadays. I always kept hearing that, okay, within 3 months they hit 100K, within 2 months they hit 100K, within 1 month they hit 100K. And it all happens on Instagram because, Instagram is all about viral growth. You get followers and then you get unfollowed as well very quickly. At the same time, with that, I want to clarify this one thing that, and I want to ask you as well, because you are also kind of, a working professional, not actually going to prioritize what Instagram is and what LinkedIn is. I would like to ask you, and tell a few people that when you have 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, it is equal to 1 lakh followers on Instagram. All right. Now with that, if you have hit 7,000 in a couple of months, Anshul, that means you have really done a great job. It's not that easy because now LinkedIn has put a lot of limitations. You cannot send more than, overall, I'll say, more than 30 requests in a week, and that's very bad. If you buy LinkedIn Premium, then only you are hitting that limit. But again, you cannot hit more than 100 or 150 people in a week, once again. So now LinkedIn has become a little tough, and with that, having limited number of followers on LinkedIn is equivalent to double and triple of any number of follower on Instagram. So with that, I want to ask you, Anshul, which platform do you enjoy the most, Instagram or LinkedIn, and why?
Okay, so to give you a disclaimer to answer this question, my Instagram account is private. So
Ah, okay. But you
I think
watch
you already
content,
have the
right?
answer in place.
But you watch content,
Absolutely.
right? And I would love to know the honest answer, okay? Yes, I am a LinkedIn favorite person, but then I would love to hear if you like Instagram, then say it up.
The growth on Instagram. So Instagram, the growth on Instagram is more. The emphasis is more on video based content. But with LinkedIn, the thing is that you have different formats to choose from. You can share content in different formats. You can share content in the form of carousels. You can share content in the form of a written post, or you can even share LinkedIn articles. You can collaborate on collaborative articles on LinkedIn to get the LinkedIn Top Voice badge on your featured on your profile. So I think with the variations in the formats that we have as a part of the LinkedIn community, I really believe that LinkedIn is a platform that I would really prefer LinkedIn as a platform for content creation for sure.
All right. So in your free time, if I ask, if you would like to spend some time, it will be LinkedIn or Instagram. Which one?
I think let me just share this screenshot of my daily activity on my mobile phone to you, so that you'll be
Yeah.
having the answer there itself. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So absolutely. So and if given any time, I would always choose LinkedIn over Instagram, not to disparage or not to disdrain the Instagram community in any way, but I would really see that I, as a person, being an opinionated person, I would really go with LinkedIn because of the variations in the format that it has to offer for content creation. Yeah.
All right. Now, Anshul, because we got to know your journey a little more. I would want you to highlight a few points, one by one, how we were actually helping you to be on LinkedIn, create a lot of buzz around your presence on LinkedIn, and how smooth your journey was when we were in the, I'll say, we were in mentorship calls. So how your experience has been with me, and how much do you think you recommend people to learn from me?
Okay, so I think the LinkedIn recommendation note would serve its, I think would answer pretty much answer this question, the well elaborated note that I wrote for you. I think you might remember it. So I think let me just begin with a very logical answer to this question. I think because with the level of, I think if you do something or if you start something, it is very pivotal for you to seek advice or to seek some level of self understanding from the people who actually expertise into that platform or into that field. So with the field so with the level of expertise that you have with content creation specifically on LinkedIn, I would really recommend all of the folks who are watching this podcast to go for to subscribe to Shraddha's content on LinkedIn, and even book a consultation call with her if that is a possibility, because if you invest in yourself, that's when you grow in your career, and that's when you grow in life in general. So I think that would be the logical reason. And secondly, I would just like to emphasize with the level of home outside home experience I get after I have a conversation with you every time. Right from the first conversation we had from our mentorship, free mentorship sessions that I backed as a winner of the contest that I contested for. So, it has always been a home outside home experience talking to you. So, that would be the second reason. And the third reason, I would just like to summarize by saying that the level of expertise that you have with the variation of the content that would work on the platform, because you always have to give your personalized touch to your content on LinkedIn. So that understanding, that sense of permutation and combination that goes on in your head all the time, that is what I find endearing about you and the community that you have built so far. So that is why I would really recommend to all the aspiring LinkedIn influencers and LinkedIn leaders in the future to come to really enroll for your course and to feature your content on LinkedIn.
By the way, I am really going to say this, that when it comes to leadership, you know how it is, okay? And I can see that you have really good kind of future, because when it comes to leadership, the attributes of a leader and how you actually help others, your surroundings, and how you grab the knowledge and everything, you are good at it. So when we are talking about leadership, I think I
Thank
see
you so
that
much.
particular sense from your side. So all the best, because you are going to be the one, the leader of your industry, and I am 100% sure about it in coming future. Now we are almost wrapping this particular session, but I really want you to say it loud that if I wasn't there to help you, if we have never met, then how you could have planned your LinkedIn journey, or if you don't even come to LinkedIn.
Well, I think I wouldn't have got that sense of direction for my content creation journey on LinkedIn if I wouldn't have the had the pleasure of meeting you any time in life. Because that's what happens, right? Life happens to you when you're busy planning other things, and that's when you meet the people, where you the level of people that you meet or the kind of people that you meet in life. There is some reason behind it, and God has sent all of us with a purpose, right? So probably in order to fulfill that purpose, you meet some angels, because he couldn't really be anywhere and everywhere. So that is the plausible reason. So I think, logically speaking about it, I would have still been searching about being a LinkedIn influencer on Google, or would have just randomly sharing posts without any vision on LinkedIn, just to create content and just for the sakes of it. But the level of direction or the sense of direction that I got after I spoke to you, after we started communicating, after we started connecting, I think that is something that spotlights everything out of the cohorts.
All right. Anshul, I would also like you to address that. I think multiple times you have got promoted since we met in 2022. So I would want you to just summarize it for us, so that we can know that yes, this is how your growth has been with your company.
I think so. With the level of so the promotion cycle, whatever it is, I would really recommend a lot of all the people to just be very consistent with their hard work. I think your efforts, and you have to. So smart work is something that is considered the subset of hard work. That's what I believe, right? So smart work always has to be there in place, and you should never wait for people to come and speak to you about your promotion. You should be very vocal, because you should be knowing what your worth is, right? Knowing for So the first and the most crucial point would be to knowing your worth, right? And second is upskilling, right? Upskilling in the industry, in the corporate world, if you have to have a very successful career, I would really recommend and urge each and every one of the people who are watching this podcast to actually start upskilling, right? Because once you stop that learning process, because learning process has to be elixir. It should be an elixir of life. You cannot really move away from it or go away from it in any way, because if you do, that's when your growth stops. So that is this that is the second point that I would really like to emphasize on. So the upskilling part always has to be there in place. Thirdly, I think you should always never you should never lose opportunities to meet the upper management of your companies. I think that is the most important part. So whenever you have client meetings, or whenever you have meetings planned with the upper management, you should or with the leadership of your company, you should always go ahead and you should speak to those people, share your experiences, know about from their experiences. So that's when you get that exposure on how to talk to people, how to present yourself to the business, or how to speak to the upper leadership and management. So that is the most important part. So yeah, that's what I think I can put it in the most simplest and the most beautiful way for you all.
I appreciate you, Anshul. We had really good conversation, and I believe that very soon we are going to have the similar conversation, but more insightful, very soon in the near future. And I really, really appreciate your time. You were having a lot of schedules, and we still made up to this particular thing, and a lot of things were there, but you still managed to be with me, and we successfully had this particular record today. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you once again. And please be there, rock on LinkedIn. And as I always say, that you are doing really fantastic. And I see you winning there on LinkedIn, not only on LinkedIn, but also in your professional career as you're already doing. So kudos to you. Thank you. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Shraddha, for having me, and wishing you all the best as well for your career. Thank you so much.